Oh, hello.
Hey, Jamie. Good
Hi,
to see you again.
Susan, right?
Yes, good memory.
How are you?
It's my friend Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Nice to
Good.
meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, come on in.
Good to see you again, Ralph Galen.
Ralph, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good to
thank
see you.
Very
Please-
nice to be here.
Please have a seat. And sit down here. Yeah, how's everybody doing?
Well, good. Jamie, thanks for making the time to speak with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to make this short. We'll just get right to the point.
Sure. I appreciate that. It's a busy day.
Yeah, we care a lot about how the state imprisons people and arrests and charges them. It's something called mass incarceration. Maybe you've read this book, The New Jim Crow.
I actually have read it, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we just want to tell you why we care about this and find out where you stand on some of the issues that we're working on a statewide coalition called End Mass Incarceration Together. And we're all Unitarians, but we're all part of EMIT. So Carolyn, would you go first?
Sure. I'd like to ask you to vote against building any more new prisons. This country has 25% of the prison population in the world and only 5% of the citizens. We don't need to incarcerate more people. And most of the incarceration is for drug crimes and the balance of the population, the prison population is just an imbalance between
demographics.
between whites and non-whites, and so it's just a really unfair justice system. Even though non-whites and whites use and sell drugs at about the same rate, there is this huge imbalance in the system, and so I think it's today's racism.
Sure. And so by not building more prisons, and then what is the thought in terms of dealing with people who are addicted to drugs?
Well, that would be treated as a health issue, not a criminal issue.
That was a good lead-in.
I agree.
Oh, you agree with that?
No, I agree. So I would be opposed to funding any more prisons. So I agree with you, and I will vote against that. Vote against building more prisons.
Great. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank
Well,
you.
Senator Eldridge, we're keeping track of all the senators and representatives.
I
here.
thought you would. Yeah.
Well, somebody gave me the idea. It's a good idea. So we're just going to check how you stand on several of these issues. So I'm glad to hear we're in agreement on it sounds like two of them, no new jails and treating drug addiction as a health problem, not a crime. It sounds like we agree on that. So maybe, Ralph, you could talk about mandatory minimums? Or
Well, I was going to follow up with prisons should be places of treatment and not punishment for people that are addicted to drugs. I work in two prisons in Concord and Norfolk.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
all a person has to do is walk past the barbed wire and walk past the gates to question why we're not providing treatment for prisoners, many of whom, the majority of whom have some drug involvement. Punishment is not going to do it. We have 70% recidivism rate. The numbers change, but that's because people are not changed in their outlook, and they come out of prison still with an addictive mentality. So we need to treat people, and we need to teach them the emotional and social intelligence skills that they need to stay off of drugs and become contributing citizens.
Absolutely, and I agree. And again, as someone who walks through the Shirley prisons in my district, I think also the job training piece, there needs to be more investment in job training, and that's largely been cut over the past 10 or 15 years.
It's backfiring on us. You can't return people to society without prospects.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we've covered 2 out of the 5.
Okay.
And it seems like we're in
You're keeping
agreement.
tabs, yep.
Yeah. And you've also added 1 jobs and jobs not jails. We're connected with that movement for sure. We're kind of a statewide alliance. What about mandatory minimum sentencing? What's yours? What do you think about that?
And is this for nonviolent drug crimes or all crimes or?
For nonviolent drug crimes especially.
Yeah, I support repealing those laws, and I'm actually a co-sponsor of most of the bills that would repeal mandatory minimums for nonviolent drug crimes.
Well, it's nice to hear we're in accord in so many of these issues. There's also pretrial services, and I think we've talked about that. There are no bills pending on that, but if we change what happens to someone after they're arrested and before they go to court, there's times they can't make bail.
So they're in
help.
jail on because they can't afford bail.
Right,
Yeah.
they're basically being punished because they're poor.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
what do you think about revising our pretrial practices and policies, and maybe even making introducing some laws on that?
Yeah, I would be open to that. I think I need to learn more about what, how exactly that reform would look like. I think other states have done that, so I'd like to get more information about that.
All right, I will definitely follow up with a handout and a website on that, and we're also going to have a briefing at the State House on coming up, so I'll let you know when that
Oh,
briefing
great.
is. Maybe you or a staff member can come.
Sure,
The
sure.
Unitarians prepare a free lunch for that.
Yes, that's good for the State House, yep.
Yeah. Last one, it's a sticking point for a lot of people in the movement, a sticking point for a lot of legislators, and that is to consider legalizing drugs.
Mhm.
And what if we just started with marijuana? Because something like half of all arrests are for marijuana. And it
Mhm.
fills up our prisons, and it wrecks people's lives.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that one?
It's certainly something, that I'd be willing to talk in more detail about, maybe get some more information. I did support the legalization of medical marijuana in the referendum to 2012, and my guess is that there will be a ballot initiative in 2016 to legalize marijuana. So if I could get some more information on the benefits of that, then I would be, open, and maybe we can sit down another time to talk in more detail.
So you'll have us back again?
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
when you meet with constituents, you think it's a good idea to meet face to face?
I think it's really important to meet face to face to talk about, why people are specifically interested in an issue, especially if someone's personally affected, telling their story. So just our conversation about the fact that you worked in the prison system really has an impact, and I think more individuals like yourself that have that background talking to legislators is very important,
Right.
as well as what we each talked about.
More people who care about racism and civil liberties like Carolyn. I think
Absolutely.
a lot of people are motivated by that who were involved in this movement, and it's really a huge movement.
Mm-hmm.
So we
You have the citizens of Massachusetts on your side. I was never more proud to have Bob Patrick as my governor, as
Mhm.
on February 20th, when he and a number of sheriffs all responded to Mass Inc.'s survey. In the last 20
Mhm.
years, there have been dramatic reversals in the public's opinion about prisons.
Yes.
The lock 'em up, throw away the key has been
Right.
superseded by other interventions. We're not safer through those. And so we're on
Mhm.
the brink of, and part of a national movement. You can hear the cheers outside, jobs,
Yes,
not
I do.
jails.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If Texas is taking the lead in ending mass incarceration, oh my gosh, Massachusetts can't
Well, we
let
should be
them
taking the
supersede
lead.
us.
Yeah.
So, as you might
Mhm.
know, we were here delivering this book today to all
Yes.
200 legislators. So, we hope that you read more of it or reread it and
Yep,
talk to
yep.
your fellow legislators about it. And more of us will be up here visiting and taking action on this. So,
That's great.
we wanted to keep this short, and we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming in, and let's follow up with if you could send me the additional information. That'd
You
be great.
haven't heard the last of me.
Yep, I'm guessing that. Yep.
It's been a great collaboration. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to the State House.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I
All right,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. And thanks to our cameraman.
All right.